Hi there, my name is Kate Poole and I am the host at Moon Homestead. We have a series of workshops, both art writing and healing retreats for the season of 2023 that we're very excited to share with you. I'll be teaching a class here called the Botanist's Garden. The date is June 16th through the 19th. We'll be in the studio 2 full days working on art projects, and you will leave with some really beautiful projects that you've created on your own here. I'll be demonstrating how to do a photo transfer from a laser print image onto paper, but you can use this technique also to transfer laser images onto fabric, and we'll be doing that. We'll be doing both techniques in the class, but I wanted to take a moment and share with you some tips that I've learned to make this project very successful and easy to do. I look forward to seeing you here in North Idaho at Moon Homestead this summer for, if not my retreat, one of the others. We just have so much fun here. We look forward to seeing you and meeting you all soon. Okay, step 1 of the photo transfer. You need to have a laser print, and you need to make sure it's laser ink, because if it's a regular printer, it won't work. So it needs to be a laser printer. And I got these images off Pinterest. So there's lots of images on Pinterest if you just keep a file for images that you really like. So what you need, most of the photo transfer recipes or instructions that I've looked at, they want you to use a matte gel medium, and I find that that product is too light. Even with multiple layers, it doesn't work as well. It's flimsy and it breaks really easy. So this is my secret that I've figured out that works really well. It's clear leveling gel or transparent gel. And it works the best of all the mediums for doing photo transfers. It just works so much better. So what you want to do is you want to find your image, and this is one that I've already done. I want to show you, this is the matte side, this is the paper side, and then this is the gel side. So one is shiny and one is matte. And you can use either side, it doesn't matter. And I wanted to show you how beautiful it is if you're working on a project where you want a layered look, if you want the images to shine through, the photo transfer in this way is really beautiful. You can still see the writing on this old piece of ledger that I have. And when you glue it down, you could use either the matte or shiny side as whatever you prefer. But I think it's really beautiful. Just a great way to have layers come through on your pieces. So you will have your images that you've chosen and printed on a laser printer, and I like to cut them out in the finished shape. So I'm just cutting on the line of the image. And the other secret that I found with this technique is you want to do several layers, and I like to kind of be generous with my layers, and because I don't want matte gel all over everything, I just put it on top of the paper. And make sure that if you want the whole shape, that you get your corners saturated as much as the center of your image. And I just smooth it out so it's not puddled and thicker in any one area. And then I just kind of loosen it up so it doesn't stick to the paper. We're gonna let this dry completely and come back to it and finish it up later. Depending on the season that you're trying to dry these, in the summertime, it probably would take maybe 2 or 3 hours. In the wintertime, I like to leave it over several hours of time. It will be a little bit tacky, but you don't want it, you want it to feel like it's dry before you add the next layer. You could probably speed up the drying process with a hair dryer or a little fan, heat fan, if you wanted to. So we'll come back and do probably about 3 layers, and then I'll show you what to do after that. Okay, to finish this little project, I have 3 nice coats of the clear liquid gel, leveling gel on, and this has been sitting in water for about a minute or 2. It's okay to soak it with this. Leveling gel is pretty tough and you want to get the paper nice and soft, so I would say you could soak it up to 5 minutes. It wouldn't hurt anything. So once you take it out of the water, I like to start in the center and just roll with my finger back and forth over the paper. And because this leveling compound is nice and tough, you don't have to be, you have to be a little bit careful. You'll tear, especially if you haven't gotten the edges really thick. But you can push a lot harder to get the paper off than if you use other compounds to take the transfer. And you see what's left under here is the image that's been transferred onto the medium. So this is a pretty fun thing if you like to add layers to your art pieces. And the good thing about this is you can paint over it, you can glue it on and just leave it as is. You can do gesso around the edges. So many things to add texture to your art pieces. Pretty fun. So I just keep rubbing, and I'm rubbing pretty vigorously, as you can see. And I have this little brush, this little vintage brush that I found that kind of helps you see where the paper wants to be removed from. I kind of move it around a little bit. I'm gonna do this and then I'll let it dry one more time so you can see. Once it's dry, you'll be able to see where the paper's been left. This is one of those erasers, those sponge erasers, and I find that this just magically removes any remaining bits of paper. Once you get the bulk of the paper off, it just is beautiful at taking off the little tiny bits of paper. Like that. So that's pretty good. I see a few pieces of paper on here, so I'm gonna let this dry and look at it again, but isn't that gorgeous? So finishing up our project, I wanted to show you this is dry, and you can see that just barely paper film left on this transfer as we finished it up. So I'm just gonna dip this sponge in one more time and try and get the rest of it. You can just see these little bits of paper flaking off the paper. And I noticed with this type of medium that we're using, the thicker, the gel, the leveling gel, that you can really get pretty much all the paper off with these, and it won't tear, won't break through like if you use other mediums like the matte gel. Just you can't, and you see now I'm starting to pull off some of the color, so that's probably good. We'll let that dry. And if I didn't say before, I wanted to remind you guys that black and white you're going to have the most success with if you want to see through, if you want to use it to see through what's on the other side. You can transfer anything really, and you can use the same technique on fabric if you wish. And I wanted to show you a few other transfers that I've done of photographs. This is a beautiful Native American woman, and I also wanted to show you how you can layer different transfers on a substrate. So this substrate I'm using is just an old piece of paper from a ledger, and if I did the birds, if I put her down, and you again, you can use it on the matte side, which I prefer, and layer these birds on top like that, so you have multiple transfers on one paper, and then you can paint around it or you can paint underneath it, just however you want to do. And I would use matte gel medium to glue it down with, and then put the matte gel over the top of it when I'm done. This is a piece that will be part of the class that I'm teaching. It's going to be part of a larger piece, and I don't want to give away too much because I'm hoping that you guys will sign up for my class and you'll want to do this, some of this practice in the studio. So this is a beautiful honey paper that I did a little study of lilies, and I photo transferred this butterfly or moth. I'm going to glue the shiny side with the matte gel medium. Just try to get all the little bits and corners. This will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it too much. And then kind of decide. I left a little bit of space on this side, so I think I'm going to put it here. That looks good. It just, you can kind of move it around a little bit. It just gives another dimension to this kind of one-dimensional art piece that I did, and you can see it, you can see the color still shines through, and I think it's really lovely. And I might do some more, I don't know, maybe, or something else, maybe some writing along this edge, so you can just really experiment with layering. This will, like I said, will be part of a larger piece that we'll work on, that will be one piece. And I really hope that you will sign up for the workshop. If you go to huntermoonhomestead.com, you'll see a tab at the top for classes and workshops. You can sign up there. It's an all-inclusive retreat. We'll be meeting Thursday evening and working in the studio all day Friday, all day Saturday, and then a farewell brunch on Sunday morning before everybody departs. And I look forward to seeing you all there and meeting you in person and, you know, being in the studio with you all.